What's up, Brian Tong here, and Apple's got a brand new chip. We're gonna talk about it all, plus the Apple Watch right here. This could get satellite features, more iPhone 17 updates, and the Apple Vision Pro is named Innovation of the Year. Okay, but first, hey, let's talk about that new Apple chip. According to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, it will be the first Apple-designed Bluetooth and Wi-Fi chip that they have produced in-house, and will be introduced in the new Apple TV and new HomePod mini that are targeting a 2025 release as Apple starts their rumored hard push into the smart home next year. Now, Gurman also says that this chip will be included in iPhones later next year, which indicates that the Apple TV and HomePod mini are expected to arrive sometime before the fall. The component will reportedly support Wi-Fi 6E and not Wi-Fi 7, and the thinking is that working with Apple's own chips and components could allow their new smart home devices to work better together, communicating more effectively. Now, you almost have to wonder, with their own wireless chip and a smart home push, could Apple bring back the AirPort Wireless Basestation for their own in-house solution? Now, for all you young pups that don't know, Apple had their own wireless base stations, and they were these awesome UFO design looking guys that were reliable and easy to set up, and also just really slick looking. So could the AirPort base station also make a comeback? We'll see. Now, a couple videos ago, I asked the question, is Apple finally taking the smart home seriously with this rumored smart home control panel, which is that reportedly a 6-inch size smart screen device with a border that's wall mountable? And in response to that video, the overwhelming response from many of you was, can't they just give that capability to iPads? And you are all not wrong at all with thinking. I mean, it's clear that they could, but will they if it's a new product? Probably not. Now, recent reports even claim that Apple may be working on their own smart home security camera system for release sometime in 2026. And this all feels like it should have and could have easily been done 5+ years ago. I've said that. But can the smart home be a better experience? Yeah, it can. But I think it's been good enough, and people have adapted without Apple, that there's just no pressing need to make a major change. So we'll see where this goes next year. And remember, it was years ago, let's say back in 2011, when the first Nest thermostat came out. Now, that was a chance for Apple to swoop in on that, right? A game changer, and the first smart home product that I ever purchased, even before lights. It was the creation of former Nest CEO Tony Fadell, who was also the senior vice president of the iPod division at Apple and was long referred to as the father of the iPod. Now, the Nest was regularly referred to as what a thermostat would be if Apple made one. Now, Apple completely hit the snooze button on it, and Google swooped in and acquired them in 2014. And it's one of the main reasons why I have a Google-based smart home mixed with Amazon today. And now, the new Nest thermostat, that is at the top of my list as one of the best products of 2024, and you have seen how it's evolved. So yeah, sure, hindsight is always 2020, but that was a huge miss for Apple, just doing something special with the smart home at that time, but it just wasn't part of their roadmap back then. They just didn't see it. So we'll see how it all shakes out, 10+ years later? Okay. Now, you might not want to hear about this next thing this early, but you're going to. We're talking more iPhone 17, and the rumored iPhone 17 Air has entered the new product introduction phase at Foxconn, according to Digitimes and their supply chain sources. So that means it has transitioned from being a product concept and moving towards mass production with design validation and prototype testing, according to reports. Now, we have done a deeper breakdown of the iPhone 17 Air and what to expect. It will take the place of the Plus model and offer something different in the lineup with a super slim design somewhere between 5 and 6 millimeters, according to reports, with a single 48 megapixel rear camera while removing features that pros are used to. Now, in my Patreon exclusive Zoom live stream that you can all be a part of if you sign up, we called it the iPhone SE Pro because that's what it really feels like, right? Stripped down, but better than an SE, but not an SE. And I know I'm gonna love it when I hold it. I know this, and I'm gonna want it because of its design, but on a day-to-day, once reality hits, I still want everything that I'm accustomed to in my Pro model. But I think we're at the point where Apple saw the Plus didn't really move the needle in sales. The smartphone market is mature, and now, very much like a car manufacturer, they're making specific types of phones for specific types of customer use cases, and we're just gonna have to see how it works out for them. And I also still think there is a place somewhere up there for a mini if it has great battery life, if they could crack that nut, and their best cameras. I just think there always has been. Now, in a side note related to iPhones, Apple is set to stop selling the iPhone SE and iPhone 14 series phones at the end of next year. And that's because the USB-C universal charging connector standard that was part of the recent EU policy that forced Apple to move to the USB-C connector instead of Lightning is going to go in effect starting in January of 2025. But it will quickly be resolved because we're expecting a new iPhone SE that's basically an iPhone 14 body with a USB-C port sometime next year. Now, outside of the EU, the Lightning phones will still be on sale somewhere until the new SE debuts, and then that will truly be the end of the Lightning port era. So, we'll make sure to pour one out for all you Lightning phones when that happens. So, all right, let's take a moment to thank the sponsor of this video, EcoFlow. This is the EcoFlow Rapid Magnetic Power Bank, and we've seen portable chargers before, but this brings fast charging in a small packaging through both a wireless and wired connection. It's got a sleek two-tone design on the backside with a built-in kickstand that you can pop out and you can use in both portrait or you can put it in landscape. There's also a display that shows battery level and when it's charging or not. This has Qi 2 certified wireless charging with a strong magnetic connection, so that's 15 watts for super fast charging to get something like an iPhone 15 Pro to 50% in 42 minutes. But you also have the option to get even faster charging with its built-in USB-C charging cable that has 65 watts of input and output power. That gets you 50% battery in just 25 minutes, which is over 300% faster than other power banks that can take over 80 minutes with a built-in cable. Now, you can even charge two phones at the same time, one wirelessly and one via the cable while it's plugged into a wall. The Rapid Power Bank itself also charges super fast to get up to 70% of juice in 33 minutes, so it can be ready on the go. This is the smaller 5,000 milliampere hour version of the Rapid Power Bank, and it can charge up to 4 hours of emergency battery for a 13-inch MacBook Air. The larger 10,000 milliampere hour version gives up to 8 hours of juice. Now, this EcoFlow Rapid Magnetic Power Bank packs a punch with its compact and streamlined design, so check out the link in the description to find out more about the EcoFlow Rapid Magnetic Power Bank. Okay, back to the stories now. The Apple Vision Pro was recently named Popular Science's Innovation of the Year. Now, it was a part of a list of the 50 greatest innovations in science and technology this year, and the Vision Pro came out on top. Now, from a patent standpoint, it absolutely was that with over 5,000 patents that were part of the Vision Pro, and it is currently the most immersive and highest fidelity headset for video that we've ever seen, and it's what I've said since day one. But now, if the decision is based on the number of patents criteria, yeah, I get that. The headset, it is innovative, and it's also heavier than you want and extremely expensive, and consumers did not resonate at that price. But even I don't know if I'd consider it the most innovative concept or product in 2024. There's other innovations on their list that were things like the Oura Ring 4. You have a Sony's A9 III mirrorless camera, and then the LG Signature OLED T TV. That's their transparent TV that was shown off at CES. What do you think though, right? And this is not to throw shade for all the haters out there, but let's try to have a productive conversation in the comments. I could argue that OpenAI's Sora video platform is not only mind-blowing, but also innovative and could arguably one of the most innovative things of 2024. And even if it was a concept that was not commercially successful, was the Humane AI Pin one of the most innovative products of 2024, but also functionally pretty bad? All right. Also, just throwing out the Meta Ray-Bans count, or was that, I guess, last year? I mean, this to me is like the MVP conversation in sports. How do you define who is the MVP? So I'd love you to throw out some ideas, but I'd love to hear what you have to say. Put them in the comments. Also, the Apple Vision Pro, it is getting better and it's building and building, and the whole VR and mixed reality space still has so much roadway before it gets there. visionOS 2.2 finally brings an ultra-wide Mac virtual display, and I've tried it. It's really cool, and it's another nugget that can make it more viable to use in the future as a computer, but I personally couldn't wear it for even more than a 1-hour session. Now, Apple says it's the equivalent of two 5K monitors side by side, and that would be even cooler if it could be optimized for ultra-wide screen gaming. But yeah, I'm still sticking to my PC for that because it's gaming. Apple TV also offers watching up to 5 MLB or MLS games at once with multi-view with the new visionOS 2.2, so it gets better for sports as well. But I think the biggest news in the overall headset space is the announcement of Android XR, that is a new OS for headsets for Android developers. Now, it really looks like an Androidified version of visionOS, and to their credit, Apple's visionOS is very good to navigate. Dare I say, innovative? Now, Samsung will be partnering with Android XR to release the very first headset on this platform in 2025. The headset is codenamed Project Muhan, which means infinity in Korean, which also has a strong resemblance to the Apple Vision Pro. But they said that they're gonna make sure it has a more consumer approachable price. But this is all good competition in this space. This is great. And like I said, we have a long ways to go, but it also means more exciting, cool tech for me to cover. But we'll keep our eyes on that. And lastly, all you Apple Watch users, hey, we've got some cool nuggets here. Reports claim that Apple's watch could be getting blood pressure monitoring finally and be ready as soon as 2025, according to Mark Gurman. Reports were high on it coming this year, but that never happened. The feature would track users' blood pressure trends instead of giving exact readings, and then offer suggestions to see a medical professional. This feature could be coming to the Apple Watch Ultra 3, and then presumably the Apple Watch 11 lineup. It only makes sense to give it to all of them, but it's not for sure yet. And we know that health sensor tech is not easy, but it's also been what has held back the Apple Watch from taking that next step up from generation to generation. And Apple still hasn't resolved its blood oxygen sensor patent issues that have deactivated on current watches, while the hardware is still there. Now, in one more development for the Apple Watch Ultra 3, Gurman also recently reported that it is set to get satellite connectivity, and that would mean the Ultra 3 would then be able to support texting via satellite. So that allows you to send text messages without a cellular or Wi-Fi connection. You know me, I love this because when I go surfing, I don't have any way to communicate to anyone, and this would be a must get for me if that's the case. And then for people who go hiking, or even when I'm on a boat before scuba diving, or anyone that's trying to get off the grid who can't carry their phone with them or don't want to, this would be a great improvement. Now, I'm already getting excited for this feature. It's not even here yet, and it's just a rumor report at this point, but what about that Apple Watch Series 11? Getting satellite texting, that would be nice too, all right? And as for Apple Watch OS 11.2, just a small update. It allows you to pause video that you're recording on your phone using the camera remote app on the Apple Watch. And then their Tides app that has more support for tidal conditions and locations in China. All right, that's gonna do it for this video. If you like what you see, give me that thumbs up, subs up, and hit that notification bell, ding, to get all my latest videos when they drop. And if you want more of that Apple goodness, you can check out my weekly Apple Bits XL audio podcast with the latest stories and special guests. Plus, you can support all my content with an ad-free version of the podcast, early access to content, and exclusive content at patreon.com/BrianTong. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace and love.